good morning to all. Greetings from BPGMEA, Bangladesh Plastic Goods Manufacturers and Exporters Association, and our partner Chanchao. I am Shamim Ahmed, President, BPGMEA. We are in a sideline meeting of IPF Online Expo starting from 5th July to 8th July 2021. As we know, in Bangladesh, plastic sector growth per annum expected around 15 to 20%. Plastic sector is linkage industry for the electronics, automobiles, garments, food processing, and so on. And globally, plastic materials production increasing from 1.5 million tons in 1950 to about 400 million tons in 2020. This robust growth of material production indicate growth of plastic sector. In Bangladesh, agriculture is modernizing with application of greenhouse, water distribution, vegetable and fruits protection from the insects, and the many more. So use of plastic products increasing day by day. In our today's discussion meeting, we have with us Mr. Sonjoy Chakraborty, former Director, Board of Investment and high-ranking government officials from the ministry. He has many publications in economics and many more. He also awarded the University of Dhaka for his research study. We have with us our Senior Vice President, Mr. Giasuddin Ahmed, BPGMEA. Mr. Ahmed is one of the leading industrial entrepreneurs and in plastic manufacturing business for last 35 years. We have with us Mr. Quazi Anwarul Haque, Vice President, BPGMEA. Mr. Anwarul Haque has wider experience in plastic-related business and exports. And also we have with us distinguished Senior Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Shubhashish Bose. Mr. Bose was also the Vice Chairman of the Export Promotion Bureau, the top boss responsible for country's export policy and the promotion. Now, may I request our keynote speaker, Mr. Sonjoy Chakraborty, to present his today's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Respected Chair, panelists, and audience. Welcome to my presentation, Plastic Sector by 2030. If I examine the first slide, we can see that North American and West European is the highest consumer of the plastics, around 100 kg per year. Is North America, and then Latin America, and then Southeast Asia and China. We can see that the North America and West Europe is the per capita income is the highest in the world, and then Latin America's. That can say there is a correlation between use of plastics and development, but it does not indicate that plastic is essential for development. But it is also true that when you become rich, you have to use the plastic. You have no alternative. Now we can see that there is a relationship. These are all developed countries, Latin American and European countries. Per capita consumption is highest there, and per capita consumption of plastic is the vertical axis, and the per capita income is in x-axis. We can see that this is the developed country. That means we can see that there is a relationship between use of plastics and development. Then New Plastic Economy. Actually, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation launched this concept. They would like to say that the new plastic economy provides a bold vision of a plastic system that works a circular economy of our plastics, aiming to build such a system in which plastics never become waste. Plastic will never become waste. This is the concept. Then the aim of the new plastic economy is create an effective after-use plastic economy, decouple plastics from the fossil-fed stocks, and drastically reduce the leakage of the plastics into natural resources and other negative externalities. Then the circular economy of plastics. The circular economy is plastic in the industrial system that's restorative and regenerative by design. By its design, it maintains three main principles: preserving, enhancing natural capital, and optimizing resources. A circular economy vision of a competitive Europe estimates that a shift from the circular economy development path is just 3 core area: mobility, food, and build. And in this way, we can the Europe get benefit around 108 trillion euro, and which is around 2 trillion USD. So this is we can see that circular economy as well as plastic is very much important for the global. This is 3R strategy, means reduce, reuse, and recycle. This is the main principle of the circular economy of the plastic. Then these are the actually circular economy solution. Plastics from natural resources we have to, and recycling strategy and innovation is very much essential. Then business and consumer cooperation is very much essential for circular economy of the plastics. The barrier of to achieving a circular economy of the plastic as well as other economic sector, that means skip this. Why plastic is essential actually? Plastic packaging helps protect and preserve goods while reducing weight in transportation, which saves fuel and reduces greenhouse gases emission. In automobile engineering sector, plastic have increased safety, fuel efficiency because of reducing a vehicle weights. Every 10% reduction in weight reduces 5 to 7% fuel consumption. On the other hand, plastic enables sustainable, durable, long-lasting design and consumption in home, building, and the infrastructure. Computers, cell phones, televisions, microwaves becomes durable, lightweight, and affordable due to plastics. It have helped revolutionary in electronic sector. You can see that. 17th September is the World Patients Safety Day. This is these days organized by the World Health Organization. In this year, they have presented that they would like to say disposable and recyclable plastic-based medical devices reduces cross-contamination. Plastic containers for medicines, blood, and other fluids instead of glass and robust and help makes hospitals safer for the patient and other workers. Hygienic vinyl-based hospital interiors helps against hospital-acquired infections. Plastics are extremely versatile to create life-saving medical products and diagnostic treatment and care. Plastics have ensured quality health care due to cost efficiency of health-related container and instrument. So we can examine that in this COVID situation, plastic is so much essential for us. SDG and necessity for the concern of the plastics. The SDG goals which are relevant for the plastic sector includes circular economy as well as now goal 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Goal 8, promote sustainable, sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, fuel and productive employment and decent work for all. Goal 11, make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable, because we know plastic has a great problem for the society also, as well as. Goal 14, conserves and sustainability at the ocean, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. At present, there are 1:5 is in the ocean plastic and fish. It will be in 1950, it will be 1:1, fish and plastic. The global plastic generation, we know global production of the polyethylene and the polypropylene, the world's leading petrochemical derived polyethylene was estimated at 150 million tons, but only global production capacity for the bio-based plastic is only 0.03 million, very insignificant. On the other hand, total production of plastic is in 2015 is 322 million tons. This is the plastic production, we can say from 1950 to 25. This is chronologically increasing and geometrically rate. It was only 1.5 million ton in 1950, but in 2015 this becomes 322 metric ton. As well as Asia is there, 50% plastic is produced in Asia, mostly around among the 15%. 29% plastic is producing in China, then Japan, and 19% plastic is produced in Europe. We can see the 7% in Middle East, 4% Latin America, 18% North America. This is the global scenario of the plastic production. This is the cumulative plastic generation in the world. We can see that is increasing geometrically. Now, from 1950 to 15, this is now 7 billion tons public plastic almost produced. This is the primary plastic production, industrial sector based. We can see that packaging sector, we need 140, most of the plastics actually used for the packaging sectors, 146 million ton. Then building and construction, textile, other section, consumer products for transportation. These are the area of the where plastic is actually produced and SSGL. Then global plastic waste, this is very important for us. In 2016, the world generated 242 million tons of the plastics waste, whereas East Asia and the Pacific region waste generated 57 million tons, which is in Europe and Central area 45 million tons, and North America produced only 35 million tons. This is the broad area of the plastic waste in globally. Where in packaging sector, we can see that most of the plastic waste is generated in packaging sector, which is 141 tons, then textile and other sectors, transportation, building, construction. In this way. Plastic was generated by per person per day in different countries. You can see that actually Germany is the highest country who generated the per ton plastics. Around half kg plastic is produced every day in Germany, plastic waste. Then USA, then you can see China, Canada. India is the lowest position actually now at present. Very good sign for India. Oh, what's going on? Okay. Plastic waste generated by the per capita, we have examined it, and then global misuse of plastic. Misuse of plastic means independently when dispose the plastic, not officially or government process. This is called the mismanaged of the plastic. And Asia and the Pacific is the misuse of plastic is the highest area, which is around 60%. Then South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, they are the misuse of plastic area I am seen there. This is not functioning properly. Percentage of the global misuse plastic waste contributed by different region. We can see that actually China is the most harmful country for that area than the Malaysia. Global plastic recycling, we can see this is the plastic cycle actually. Plastic production, then manufacturing area, then we can usable elements, then few of the plastics are actually reused, then this go to recycling area, those, then this is the actually plastic life cycle you can see here. And problem with this. আপনি চেঞ্জ করেন এখন প্রবলেম হচ্ছে ওকে থ্যাংক ইউ চেঞ্জ ইট
Next, next bullet.
Plastic waste, we can see that primarily this is the graph of the plastic waste. We can see that this then
Next.
Four level of plastic waste characterized by this recycling. We can see that first main polymer PET, PP, PVC, PS, then packaging area, food packaging, non-food packaging area, then recycling as per the last one is the single polymer plastic, multi-polymer plastics, and color, black and others. Okay, next. This is the global flow of the plastic packaging. We can see that 14% plastic is actually recycled. Among them, 4% is improperly used, 8% is properly recycled, 2% is closed loop cycle. Then the fate of the plastic packaging materials, we can see that among the packaging plastics, 40% is actually 14% plastic is recycled in the packaging area, 40% plastic is landfills, and other 32% is for leaked in the ecosystems actually. Plastic in Bangladesh, now we'll discuss only for the country like Bangladesh. Change it. The current statistics regarding the plastic industry of Bangladesh, number of plastic manufacturing industries 5,000 at least. Most of these are small scale, about 70% are domestic market oriented. Nearly about 250 to 30 units are currently involved in the export market. About 65% units are located in Dhaka and nearby, and 20% in Chittagong, and rest of them other locations. Total employment in plastic sector is 37,689. Okay. These are the area of the plastic area, subsectors. Then import of the raw materials of the plastics. Actually, I guess some trend of the import of raw materials in the year of the 2008 and 9. It's produced 661,000 tons. These are the 1,000 ton actually. It's increased to the 824,000 tons in 2014 and 15. Import of the raw materials in Bangladesh in crore taka, if this also increased. This is now 9,066.87 crore taka in the year of 14 and 15. Okay. This is the tariff rate, which is continuously, we can see that in HS code 4 is continuously decreasing. Present status of the plastic industry in Bangladesh. Bangladesh does not have the industry of the producing the capital goods required for the plastic production. Capital share is located around 98% is local, and only FDI is on 1.7%. Total export is around 497 million in 2016. 497 million US dollar, among the only 409 is deemed to export and 89 is direct export. Total market of the plastic products is about 2.99 billion, of which 83.4% is linked to the local market and 16.6% to be linked with the global market. In the export basket rank, Bangladesh plastic is the 12th according to the direct export. If it is adjusted with the deemed export, its position is 6th position. However, some of the plastic waste, around 20%, is recycled in Bangladesh. According to the BPGMEA, the domestic demand for the plastic produced in 2016 was around 200,000 crore taka. The average growth rate of the period from 2012 to 2016 was around 14%. Bangladesh economy by 2030, anticipation for the plastic sector. We can see that this is a Mr. MoHA predicted this actually in his paper. GDP at the constant price 2010, the Bangladesh economy is the per capita GDP is predicted and forecasted this year. We can see that it will be doubled in 2030. Now the population will be in 2030 is around 18.5 million, 180 million. Okay then. Per capita GDP is also will be doubled in 2030, considering this year. And total export of the plastics actually predicted and actual figure is shown in this figure. You can see that it will be around 20,000 million taka. Okay, then. Considering the earlier estimation situation, prospects for the plastic industry status by 2030, what will we go? Where we will be going now? Then we can see that if this is the estimated actually, if the growth is around 14% on average, then by 2030, the total domestic demand of the plastic will be around 125,000 crores. At the 14% average export growth rate, export in 2030 would be around 14,000, around 25,000 crore taka. Given the statistics, the market size would be anything in between 60,000 crore taka to 150 crore taka. At the rate of 14% increase, then a total market size of the plastic will be 150 crore taka, 150,000 crore taka. By 2030, per capita consumption would be around 49 kg, which is only 5 kg in Bangladesh at present. If the per capita plastic consumption is around 40 kg, conservative consideration, the total consumptions of the plastic in the economy would be around 74,000 tons. 740,000 tons actually. 740,000 tons. Assuming this growth rate holds, the amount of the manufactured plastics produced would increase the amount of 8,000 million to in 220 and around 19,000 million in 2030. Gas consumption by 2030 will be needed around 767.8 crore metric cubic meter, and electric consumptions will be needed around 1,234 crore kilowatt. And future competing countries are for Bangladesh in plastic. China is the first our competing country, then India, Thailand, and few countries. Okay. The benefits. Change it. Challenges for the plastic sector present and future: lack of machinery use and mold manufacturing, lack of testing laboratory, lack of skilled labor and the technological efficiency, lack of proper knowledge on polymer sciences, environmental concern and plastic industry, okay, and is the main concern. Other challenges are the industry suffers due to shortage of electric and gas supply, lack of access to capital because of bulky nature of the products. Shipments of plastic products require a lot of space and incur high shipment cost. Moreover, shipments from Bangladesh is relatively high as due to high freight cost. Withdrawal of GSP is in US is one of the another challenges actually. The plastic sector has both global and local challenges. This is the future challenges. The global challenges is related to the environment, sustainability. Among other, landfills and the ocean debris are the main concern. According to the Alan Martha report, by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish if we continue this in this way, business in this way. The challenges for the Bangladesh, energy inadequacy and the shortage of the skilled manpower are major future challenges for this sector. These two are the current obstacles also. VAT law, external unethical competition and dumping, and government's policies are also other future challenges. In terms of the environment, the plastic industry of Bangladesh generate 336,000 tons of plastics waste per year, and around 17,000 tons directly goes to the landfill. Bangladesh has to increase the capacity of recycling for sustainable management of the plastic waste. Recommendations for the development of this plastic sector, sectoral policy, proper endorsement of the plastic sector in national policies. Actually, there is no national policy at present regarding the plastic. Facilities for the product development, establishing petrochemical plants in Bangladesh. There is no petrochemical plants in this sector. Government come and assist for developing the petrochemical. Privately, this is very tough. This is very high cost industry actually. Support for technological upgrading. BPED should be properly developed. Actually, there is a institute they have developed in this many times. Human resources development, including university graduates. Special area should be in university. They should have a master degree or PhD is essential in the university for development of the plastic. And uninterrupted power supply, addressing environment concerns. Then packaging law, we have no actually is packaging law. Standardizations of the products and raw materials, policy supports, back-to-back LC facilities available, and hassle-free bondage warehouse facilities, product standardization, the financing initiatives by Bangladesh Bank for green industry, less cost of fund for export, machinery, grant facilities, etc. should be made available for plastic industry. Okay. For last slide, actually, we have to think no one does anything to anyone. We have to do our own thing. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Sonjoy, for your nice presentation. Dr. Sonjoy has covered so many things of the plastic sector. He covered environmental sustainability for the plastic. He projected the plastic industrial growth by 2030. He also identified how the plastic sector is contributing to SDGs, different goals. He covered the uses of plastic in the medical perspective. He also projected that 10% reduction of the weight in the automobile will reduce the fuel consumption. So far I know around 2025 the Global Automobile Association has decided that 1 gallon of fuel must go 54 kilometer of a sedan car. So that will also reduce the CO2 emission that we are afraid of. He has covered it. In the protection of food security is very important. Plastic contribution to the food security, he already told about it, it's very important. And he told about the plastic economy, consumption in Latin America and the Europe. Thank you, Dr. Sonjoy, for your nice presentation. May I request Mr. Giasuddin, Senior Vice President, Plastic Association, to comments on this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for allowing me to say a few words or comment on Mr. Dr. Sonjoy's explanation. But I think my president already pointed out all those points. So I don't want to go further about this. But sincerely speaking, I want to highlight about on yesterday some points I thought. So I think that will be good for me to explain. Actually, yesterday the learned panelists remarked so many points. So I have little to say, but let me identify 3 areas. First of all, automobile area. Use plastic used in building a car, and day by day it is increasing. And if we could not find out the measures, then the suitable other item, then we cannot make anything more better. So example, over 1,200 spare parts needed to build a car. All out of these 60% is made of plastic, big or small. And because I could know all these things while I visited Japan many times, but I had the golden opportunity to visit Toyota plant in Nagoya thrice. When I entered to see the plant, how they are building the car, and we entered and started to see all these things from 10 a.m. in the morning, and we had a half an hour lunch break. Then we again started to see how the plant is making the car, and at 4:30 then we come out and see the every 30 seconds one car is coming out and driver going out. So that night I could not sleep actually. Every 30 seconds one car coming out, so it's not a matter of joke. Then they projected so many things, and what we observed that in a car, suppose battery case made of plastic, suppose front and rear bumper made of plastic, maximum body parts made of plastic. If you go to the inside of the car, then you'll find the all are made of plastic. Suppose button, all the switches made of plastic. And if you look at the fender mirror, door mirror, inside mirror, 60% is made of plastic. Then they add the mirror. That is the thing. And if you go to the front and rear windscreen, and that is also made of plastic, and then later they put the aluminum and then the rubber. So this way, this is the present plastic position of automobile industry. Suppose if we yesterday discussed about the plastic issues, and it will making the environmental pollution. So we need actually the how to solve this problem. That is, we all sit together to discuss and find out the way how to develop, how to sort out this problem. Because if you look into the current pandemic situation, COVID-19, first of all, USA blaming, including France, Germany, Canada, Australia, only China, that is stated from Wuhan. But better it was, but later on they could thought that it is better to concentrate our mind to develop a vaccine. So, and they realized, and they developed already 5 to 6 vaccine in the market, and already they distributed all over the world. So this way in plastic issue also, if we can blame each other, that is not the main thing. We should sit together, learn it, those who are experienced, and then we should discuss how to sort it out, this problem. But if this way we can play blame game, then we cannot come to a conclusion, because yes, plastic has got the environment, it polluted the environment. But it is also our duty, it is the high time to sit together and discuss and to overcome this situation, so that in future we can get rid of this environmental friendly. And so this is my request to all, that we should remember one thing: we should think over the matter seriously, sit and discuss, then we can come to a conclusion, because two heads are always better than one head. So I think through discussion we can come out this, and today the blame is giving on plastic, environment, this or that, but this could be sorted out if we can sit together and find out the actual proper suggestion. So lastly, I would suggest everybody, due to the pandemic situation, we should wear masks and keep distancing, and if possible to wash our hands very frequently. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Giasuddin, our Senior Vice President, who has highlighted the use of plastic in the COVID situation, because, you know, face mask, goggles and PPE or face shield, whatever we named, is made of the plastic. And he also highlighted the use of it and the contribution of plastic in the COVID situation. He also highlighted the automobiles policy support for plastic sector, because if you want to grow the plastic sector in our country, you need to have developed the, if you want to develop the automobile sector in Bangladesh, you need to develop the plastic sector. So that is what he has highlighted, because there is in the globally the most of the plastic consumption in the automobile sector. So thank you sir, so for a kind presentation. May I request Mr. Anwarul Haque, our Vice President, to have specific comments on the keynote presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sonjoy Chakraborty, for his good presentation on plastic, mainly in the vision and goals of 2030 in the international market, as well as the strategic point for Bangladesh, where we are and what we can do under these circumstances. So actually, the plastic definitely is a vital role for our economy also, not only for the day life. It is everywhere in the livelihood goods. Like the plastic is, there's so many products and so many things now we are using on the plastics, like including the crockeries to hygienization of food packaging, and the life savings medical equipments, as well there is the automobiles, the component of machineries, everything and everywhere is plastics there. And in the world, really the substitute of wood, substitute of iron and steels, the plastic is there. So under these circumstances, definitely plastic is a very essential product in our daily life. So under UN convention, mainly the SDG 230, there is so many components for reach the SDG of Bangladesh. So this plastic economy, mainly the plastic economy, the global commitment is 2018 to 2025, and sustainable development SDG, this for 2020 to 30, there is a need to be a very good action plan. And UN already, UN so many conventions, they give the idea that this is the way. According to that, the Bangladesh have to do something to follow these things. Bangladesh, like this, if we continue the 20% growth on, average growth on plastic sector, the 10 million US dollars market for plastic packaging industries by 26, and 20 billion to 30. So, and employment increase for 5 lakhs people, skilled people under this sector. So, and the GDP growth almost to increase the 2%, then we need to do something. And in the strategic point for Bangladesh, that is a transfer of technology, design of products. This is the very important part for us. Secondly, ensuring even competitiveness to domestic and foreign markets, improve the business development services and policy support. As well, easy arrange of fixed and floating capitals, taxation and incentives also for our, from the government for improvement these sectors. Not only for export, it is also for the domestic markets. So it must to think in depth, otherwise so many policy and so many support like incentives with us, we receive the government, but actually practically we are not in a position to acquire or execute these things. So that they encourage the support industries that can create a linkage to the domestic and foreign markets, transfer of technology and knowledge and investment promotion in cooperation with local and international organizations, encourage the promotion of information and research activities, undertake development of entrepreneurs' business, enhance the business development service, participation of entrepreneurs to create policy and regional business activities. So this is the very, very important, as well as the ensuring proper infrastructure. Without the proper infrastructure, is we don't, mainly the local or the domestic people cannot go or raise their industries. And SME product study, we have seen that so many people, they are waiting for the development of SME sector. Otherwise, the plastic products, the small products there. And in the international market like Japan, there is so many small in Korea, South Korea, mainly they are developing only for the SME products. The manufacturer, their designer is different. They design the products and send it to the producer. Producer is very small, say for single one product, two products in a very good way, and then add in the like the automobile spares, machine spares. All of them comes from the SME. So it is a very important part to accept the challenge of fourth generation industrial revolution. So in Bangladesh, have to enjoy these things. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to achieve the SDG. So other things, to focus on the upgrading plastic use. Upgrading plastic use means the extending the cycle of existing products and improvement through the modification, innovation, and technology and product design also. To take care of this, as well the we definitely the industrial need to compatible with the nanotechnology. In future, it is come up. We earn the SDG for 2030. It need go for the nanotechnology, the biotechnology, robotics. It is an important part. As well as the material science. This is the very important part now for cost minimization of the products, for quality development of the products. Every day, they develop the material science. It changes the proposition as well as the mixing ratio, everything. So all the entrepreneurs be take care and to acquire, to procure these things from the international market, as well as need to the government support to things to earn in Bangladesh also. Also the incentives part, this is the very important things which earlier we have to discuss, that so many incentives you need from the governments in the taxation part, as well as our local industries we are facing the serious problem, mainly the capital, but which capital? Say for one entrepreneur, say put the one machine, but they need the working capital. It's the huge working capital to continue his production line, as well as to procure the technology, advanced technology with the raw materials, everything. So he don't receive these things. So when you put any industries, to think about the proper and huge raw material who can continue his production line. Other things, to competitiveness in the international market, we think about mainly our entrepreneurs as well as the government support, that the EPR. EPR is the extended producer responsibility. We have to follow. Otherwise, we can compete in the international market. As well as the turning our circular economy. Our total sector to turn into the circular economy means the production definitely will be in a EPR base and SQ base, ESQ base. ESQ, otherwise, we cannot compete the international market. As well as not only the international market, for the domestic market, definitely we have a graded product. Otherwise, it can sustain. So for the long-term sustainability, it needs a graded product. Graded product means their patent, the intellectual property rights, it will be established. Otherwise, I will produce one things, then another will go for the same things. So it will be uneven competition, so the quality it will be reduced, or do some other ways to compete in the market. So this is my comment, and actually for the export market we focus on other things. As in the we have explained that encouraging the local industries and institutions to B2B clients, it will be set up in the because in the garment sector for Bangladesh is well known everywhere in the world, but the plastic sector we are producer. But international market, not, this is the hub of their products. So the country branding on products, as well as other thing, there's, I am in Italy, someone is asked that your country produce just, I am marketing the bag. Then they give the idea, you are producing the plastic bag? So definitely. But we know, Bangladesh only produce the jute, and it is the hub of the jute bags. So we don't know that you are producing now in the plastics. Yes, we are in the plastic because they know China or India only produce the plastic bag, means the FIBC bag, the PP oven bags, the non-oven bags. So many bags is there. But now Bangladesh, there is more than 80 factories in Bangladesh, and there is already 20 factories there started the good exports in a good quantity. So this is the things, and our government also need to be explore our country presentation, country branding, that this product is here and to explore in the market. So this is the thing, my opinion on this to meet the challenge and take over in 2030 SDG goals and plastic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anwar. Our Vice President has highlighted for development of the information dissemination, that because we are producing not only jute bag, we are producing also plastic bag. They're global in the marketplace. We should let them know. He put importance on the material science. That is very important, because for the plastic we know that a combination of the 2-3 materials we can achieve more competitiveness, we can achieve more benefit. He also importance on nanotechnology, SME development. He has given importance to the designing. So far I know in the Singapore they reduced the use of plastic by substantial quantity by redesigning and by innovation. That is very important for the plastic at this age. If we want to grow by 2030 at a stage, but we need to give due importance for designing and so on. So at this moment, I request our former senior secretary, Mr. Shubhashish Bose, and I hope he will be discussing elaborately and give due importance to the keynote speaker's presentation. and we are here to learn something from him. Mr. Shubhashish Bose.
Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Plastic Goods Manufacturers and Exporters Association and today's moderator, the senior vice president. I think both of them are senior vice presidents. He is the senior vice president and
Vice
one
President.
is the vice president. Mr. Giasuddin, he is the senior vice president, and Mr. Anwarul Haque is the vice president.
Yes.
And we have with us Mr. Sonjoy Chakraborty, the keynote presenter. I am very thankful to be here upon invitation from Mr. Shamim Ahmed, who has been known to me for long. And it's my great pleasure to be on this occasion. And my special thanks to Mr. Sonjoy Chakraborty for his comprehensive presentation on the plastic sector. And he has covered so many things on the plastic sector, which is very important for us, because the country would also be benefited, the policymakers would be benefited, and those who are involved in the industry, they will also be benefited from his presentation. What I would like to say is that Mr. Chakraborty has covered circular economy. He has said the relationship between development and plastic. Also, he has covered the features of the plastic products in the global market, and he has mentioned about the sustainable development goals, goal number 8, goal number 11, goal number 12, and goal number 14. He has also mentioned about the plastic waste management, etc. And also, most importantly, what he has said, Mr. Alan Arthur's comment that the oceans in the world will be full of plastic waste rather than fish. So, that is a matter of concern for us. So, we would like to say about the prospect of this sector. Actually, the plastic industry developed in Bangladesh as a backward linkage industry to the ready-made garment sector. That is for sure. And I believe that only in the old town of Dhaka, there were few factories, very small factories. But nowadays, many big factories are there, and they have actually introduced so many sophisticated products. They have imported machinery from other parts of the world, sophisticated machinery, in order to produce quality products. So, we would like to say that the government has a policy, definitely, and you know that EC for jobs, that is export competitiveness for jobs, that is the project taken up by the government of Bangladesh. The project has been undertaken by the Ministry of Commerce. Actually, the Ministry of Commerce was not involved in any project undertaking, but while I was there, the World Bank actually approached me whether I can take up this project. My predecessors, they were not willing to take up the projects because they were in favor of formulating the policies. This is an extra burden for the ministry. So, that is why my predecessors were not interested in it. But I took the challenge that why not, because we are formulating policies of the government, why not we are undertaking some projects, because if we can formulate the policy, we can also undertake some projects in order to help the sector, because I know the problems of the sector, the prospect of the sector, then definitely there would be some projects. So, that was the project, and it was a project worth 100 crores of taka, and it was funded by, most of the fund was given by the World Bank. And I talked to the World Bank, and they selected some of the sectors, and we agreed to that. The sectors were actually leather and leather products, plastic, then footwear,
light engineering,
and light engineering. These were the 4 sectors covered in the project. And the initial policy was that we would develop some technology centers, and there would be 4 technology centers actually. One would be in Shirazdi, another would be in High Tech Park, another would be in Mirasharai, another would be in Kashimpur. So, there would be technology centers, but in 3 technology centers plastic related training and technology would be introduced in 3, not in Kashimpur. So, that was the initial idea, and the initial estimation was 250 crores of taka to be spent on technology centers, but the estimate actually rose to taka 500 crores, because estimation could not be taken at 250 crores of taka. So, I believe by now the land has been acquired by the government, there is a Ministry of Commerce from different sources, and the design has also been finished. So, I believe the technology centers will start working very soon, and government has a plan in order to help the BPET. BPET is also working towards the skill development, upskilling, etc. So, government will also give them some benefits, and that is actually called cluster infrastructure development scheme of the government. And I believe that the EC4 project, that is working towards the implementation of the policy. Since we have said that the plastic policy is very important for us, it is a capital intensive industry as well as a labor intensive industry, which is very much needed for Bangladesh. If we look at the garment industry, this is also labor intensive industry, but capital intensive industry can also be said about the garment sector, because so many high fashion garments are there nowadays. So, that is why it is both. And I believe that Bangladesh has got some special benefits, and the benefits are, Mr. Sonjoy also mentioned about the opportunities. If we go to the SWOT analysis, SWOT analysis, then we can find out the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities and the threats of this sector. I believe that enormous opportunities are there in the plastic sector, because so many small traders are there, small manufacturers are there, medium manufacturers are there, and very high manufacturers are also there. So, in that way it is a combination of so many entrepreneurs that can contribute towards the development of the country, but only 1% of the total manufacture is coming from this plastic sector. It has also been mentioned that the wages, that is the competitive advantage, competitive edge is there in Bangladesh, because of the reason that 73% of the total population of the country are under the age of 40 or at the age of 40. So, that is why it is a young population, not an aging population, and that is the demographic dividend we are deriving out of the population of the country. And people, if they are upskilled or if they are given training or imparted training by the BPET or other technology centers in the country, they would be able to contribute to the economic development of Bangladesh. But importantly, it has also been said that we have to do something jointly. The environmental problems, the ESQ, the EC4 project, they have also developed one guideline, what is to be done by the sectors of the economy, what they follow, what are the environmental concerns and what are the compliance issues. If we do not comply with the compliance issues, then our export sector would be jeopardized. If we look at the leather sector, the same thing is happening, because we cannot use our hides here for making the leather products. If we want to export the leather products to the rest of the world, we have to bring in hides from other countries as per specification given by the importers, because there is a compliance issue that we have to set up an effluent treatment plant in the country. The effluent treatment plant has been installed, but the problem is we are not treating the solid waste. We are only treating the liquid waste. So, we have to treat the solid waste as well, otherwise our hides could not be utilized. So, this kind of issues are there in the plastic sector as well. If environmental concerns could not be met, could not be overcome, then we cannot export the plastic products in future maybe. But I think the entrepreneurs are conscious about that. They are being aware of the problems they will be facing in the very near future, and government is also considering that. In India, this sector is treated as green zone, but in Bangladesh it is treated as a red zone by the environmental authority of the country. So, that is also to be considered by the government. And I believe that Mr. Chakraborty has also given us a hint about the circular economy. Of course, this is also very important, because it is according to the theory of physics that the matter does not diminish, or it cannot be destroyed, rather it could be converted into new shapes. That is the whole of the thing. So, plastic is like that. Plastic cannot be destroyed, but it could not be, it could be converted into other materials, other products, etc. And the government of Bangladesh is also aware about that. They are also, government is also trying to provide you some incentives. Incentive means you are getting raw materials without duty payment. So, it is according to the bonded warehouse facility, and also you are getting duty drawback system benefits. You are also getting 10% cash incentives, and I believe you have got an export development fund, which is called EDF fund, introduced by the central bank of the country, Bangladesh Bank, and the fund in the EDF has been raised to $5.5 billion US nowadays. It was a few months ago $5 billion US, now it is $5.5 billion US, and I believe the rate of interest is also very comfortable for you, because it depends on the situation. It is 1.5% interest rate, and you can avail of that opportunity, and a plastic unit would be able to utilize $1 million US worth of loan, but it has been raised to 1.5 million US dollar per unit, I believe, and working capital of course would also be provided to you, and in that way I think plastic sector could be benefited. And I believe the use of the plastic industry, it will not remain at this stage. You are now making the products according to the specifications of different countries of the world, but time will come when you will manufacture the design, you will offer the design to the international buyers. If you look at the leather sector nowadays, some of the companies, they are offering designs. So, which is called actually original product manufacturing to original design manufacturing. It is no longer original product manufacturing, rather it is original design manufacturing. So, if we can offer the designs to the international buyers, the buyers will be able to reduce their cost in designing. So, they will save their cost. So, if they choose our designs, they will be able to order the products according to the designs we are offering. So, plastic sector can also think of that, and I believe that in future they will be able to offer such designs. And if you look at the ready-made garment sector nowadays, they are also offering the same. Say for example, the French company which is called Carrefour. Carrefour is now sourcing some products from Bangladesh. They have got a center in Dubai, display center, outlet, etc. They have got in Dubai, and some of the companies are actually supplying the products to the Dubai center. So, it is the arrangement between Carrefour and our manufacturer that the design will be provided to them, design will be chosen by them, and the products will be supplied to them. So, in that way our manufacturers are actually taking advantage of the situation. So, I believe that in the plastic sector as well similar situation would arise. And plastic is such a thing that it will be used in everybody's house. irrespective of the poor, the lower middle income group, the middle income group and the rich group. Everybody would be using the plastic products, and very sophisticated machineries, luxury items would also be used. Used means manufactured through plastic. So, that is affordable, that is usable, that is durable, and those are actually good looking, etc., etc. They are very flexible. So, what is actually needed? The uninterrupted electricity supply, that is very much needed for us, because heat is a matter which is actually very important for plastic manufacturing. So, in that way uninterrupted electricity supply is very much needed. So, that has to be ensured by the government of Bangladesh. I believe that the electricity supply, which has been raised to 23,000 megawatt nowadays, I believe nowadays. So, it can actually serve the purpose, cater to the needs of the manufacturers in the plastic industry. So, I believe that this is a sector which can contribute to the economy like the garment sector in the very near future. I would say that from the statistics, if we look at only 120 million US dollar worth of plastic products are exported to the global market, but in 2019-20 it was 100 million US dollar because of the pandemic situation. But I believe it is not the whole scenario. The scenario is that the domestic consumption, the domestic supply of the products to other industries, which is called actually deemed export. So, it is also an import substitute. If we could not make this product in Bangladesh, we would have to import the products from other countries of the world. So, we would have to spend foreign currency in that way. So, we are saving the foreign currency by not importing the products from other countries, rather we are using it. And our wages definitely is 4 to 5 times lower than China in Bangladesh. Only 103 US dollar is paid to the worker per month, which is 4 to 5 times lower. Even if we look at Thailand, it is 300 US dollar we have to pay per worker per month. So, I think the intermediate products we are actually producing in the country that can serve purposes of the principal industries in other countries of the world. If we look at Thailand, there are 7,000 Japanese companies. So, these 7,000 Japanese companies are producing their products, different kinds of products in Thailand. Not only finished products, these are also intermediate products. So, in that way we can also invite the foreign direct investment to Bangladesh, wherein we can produce intermediate products, and intermediate products could be used in assembling the final product in other parts of the world. In that way we can actually ensure the cost of production to be lower for those companies which will be able to come to our countries. So, in that way the policy of the government is very flexible, inviting foreign direct investment from other countries, and I believe the plastic sector should also be able to attract the foreign entrepreneurs. You can do it jointly, or you can just invite other companies to come over here. Two things would be beneficial for you. One thing is that the design, the marketing skills, the technology, these are the things you will be availing of in future, because companies which are actually coming from other countries, especially from the developed countries, they have got their market share. They have already captured the market share, and that market share can be availed of by Bangladesh. And also the technology which will be transferred to Bangladeshi entrepreneurs, that is also possible. So, in that way double benefits could be derived out of that. So, I believe that it has got a tremendous prospect for the future, and after ready-made garment sector, there would be other sectors of course, but among them this plastic sector would be of immense paramount importance, I would say. So, whoever are involved in the plastic sector, I believe that you should encourage other people to be involved in this sector, and you can invite, you can do joint collaboration with other entrepreneurs. One of our vice presidents said that everybody was actually blaming China, but they were not trying to combat the situation, which is very good. He has said an important fact. Everybody was actually blaming China in order to tackle the situation of COVID-19. But what should we do? We have to try jointly in order to combat the situation. Blaming others will not actually give us a solution. So, since we have actually developed some vaccines and we are inoculated, so in that way we can combat the situation. So, that is called the theory of inclusive welfare, which is introduced by the World Trade Organization. Everybody has to be taken on board, nobody has to be left behind, and that is the theory of the world. If we can ensure inclusive welfare, it will actually give benefit to everybody, otherwise we cannot be benefited. There would be segmented benefit. Some people would be deprived of the benefits and some people would be enjoying the benefits. So, there would be a discrimination, there would be an inequitable distribution of wealth among the people of the world. So, in that way the humanity will not be benefited. So, that is why we have to follow the principle of the World Trade Organization, that is equity for all, inclusive welfare for all. I believe that this sector would be benefited immensely from your efforts. So, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak a few words on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shubhashish Bose, for your presentation with the concluding word. We also hope that we will be brought into WTO's program as with the plastic industry forward. You have given importance to the own designing of the plastic products for the global market. You have given importance to the environmental strategy that we need to develop, and you have also, as a secretary, when you were in the Secretary Ministry of Commerce, you have come forward from not only policy making but as a functional activities to develop for the plastic and for other sectors. We welcome your tenure, and even it is late, but still we feel encouraged that all the policymakers should come forward like this. Not only policy formulation will solve the problem, but we also need to be activate in the functional area. So, we are almost in the concluding part. We've concluded. We have thanks to the distinguished panelists and the keynote speaker for their kind presence. Also to our international viewers, those who will enjoy this video from 5th of July to 8th of July for them. I invite all our international viewers to come forward, make your investment in Bangladesh. We have a very congenial environment for the FDI. And last but not least, please don't litter plastic waste here and there. Plastic waste is your wealth. Take care, take care. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.